right, welcome back, Mustang Nation. We are here in Chicago at the Seven Bridges Arena. Rochester taking on Belle Detroit in their last pool game. Unfortunately, those last two losses don't put us in contention for bracket play on Sunday. So we'll finish this game and we'll either get the third or the fourth seed out of our pool. And then from there we'll play a cross pool game, either a third versus third or a fourth versus fourth game here tonight, either at 6:30 or 7:50. Again, watch us on social media. We've got our Instagram and X channels, Twitter, as well as our live game action here on YouTube. So subscribe, like, and follow. To share our Rochester lineup here, a couple of notable injuries. Looks like McGill is back today after suffering a head contact hit in game one. Cawthorn is still out with a hand injury. He's recovering from that. Still has a cast for here for a couple of weeks. Again, our very diversified team that gets split up into various high schools and AAA programs around the country. About a minute left here in warm-ups, and horn will blow. We'll get going. The boys are finishing their last couple of laps here. Again, I'd like to thank our sponsors: Sorensen Painting, Minnesota Ice, Jimmy's, Paramark, ETS, Jacobson Surgery, and of course VFW 1215, longtime sponsors of Rochester hockey. All those sponsorships have gone towards the boys' various goodies, hats, hoodies, pants, jackets, etc. The horn has blown. We are about ready to go here. Looks like we've got a little bit better Wi-Fi signal here in the Seven Bridges Arena, so we'll hopefully have a little bit better experience here today. Hope you're having a great Saturday. Looks like over by La Crosse they were already starting to get snow. Hopefully none of that sticks. See if we can zoom in again. We got multiple cameras. I think we can do that multiple camera deal here with the setup we've got this morning. So I think we'll be good to go. All right, starting lineup here today. Hangy and Wiedrich on the blue line. Kohler Peterson, Max Wiesner, and Griff Young. Started off yesterday slow, came out hard in the second game, just couldn't muster against a strong Windy City team. So we'll see how both these teams are 0-2 in pool play. We'll see which team shows up here this morning for your Mustangs. I do hate the stick banging at the start of the game, start of period. It's annoying. That face-off won by Rochester. Hangy retreats back in his zone. He goes against far boards. That's past Wiesner. Wiesner picks it up here at the blue line, skating across the red. Griff Young is able to chip that down to the Belle Tire zone. Maybe I'll just call him Detroit to make it easy. Now to the far side, Detroit trying to go up off the boards. They finally do get that puck out. Hangy defending the blue. They're offside, so they have to retreat and regroup here. Detroit skating up, dumping that down. It rings around all the way to the far side. Hangy is there. Weidrich now in the corner to help him. Detroit across the blue line. That's through the defenseman's feet. Detroit cutting to the middle. Now to the near side. Shot, that's high. Now on the far side, still trying to get that puck out. Puck behind the net. Detroit trying to cut to the middle. Puck does squirt out and back in for a whistle. Face off outside the Rochester zone. Detroit picks that puck. They dump it down back behind Parker Ashton. Battle now in the corners with Masters. Masters now coming out of the zone with a burst of speed. 3-on-2 coming down. Centering pass, that misses. Detroit now moving it back. Coming across the blue line. Peterson picks it up. He backhands it to nobody. Far side. Rochester chips it up the board. Lusk panics a little bit too much, but he gets it out. Rochester changes. Detroit retreats to get a long cross-ice pass as they enter back in the Rochester zone quickly. Hagen gets a stick on that. And Rochester throws it all the way down for a whistle. Face off to the right of Sikic. Rochester chips it up the boards. Detroit's able to hold that in. They bounce that behind the net to the near side. Now behind the net, walking out. Detroit gets a shot on the pad of Sikic. Detroit working that into the near side corner now. Detroit getting it to the middle. Hagen's able to get his body on that stick. Detroit controlling the puck here. I'll back up to the point. That does float over, so they'll have to regroup. Detroit dumps that into the far side as they change. Rochester moving it up quickly. Schletty grabs that. He comes across the blue, rings it around to the far side. Now to the point, Hangy fires a shot that's blocked. Puck comes to the near side. Caleb Weidrich is there. He gets it up the boards quickly. Rochester backhands it into a Detroit player. Turnover. Caleb Weidrich fires a shot just high over the goaltender's head. Rochester dumps it in. Griff Young on the attack. Turnover. Griff Young throwing it into the corner. Now it's to the point to Weidrich. He fires a shot. Goaltender steers that into the corner. Now on the far side, Detroit chips it up. Detroit coming down 1-on-2. They fire an easy little shot that Elliott steers into the corner. Caleb Weidrich stepping up now. He chips it up. Detroit throws it down as they get a change. Hanging goes back 40, rings it around hard to the near side. Detroit throws it in, no offsides. Hanging back behind the net. Quickly moving it up the boards. Luss can't get a stick on that, so we have a whistle with 10:18 left here in the first. Let me hear in the YouTube comments how the stream's looking. Again, checking from my phone, seemed to be okay here at game start time. Hopefully that's the same experience you guys are having back home. Face off to the right of Sikic. Rochester finally wins a draw. Parker Ashton come up the near side. Burst to speed, he comes across the red, gets it into the Detroit zone. He backhands a floater in on net that the goaltender is able to grab with a glove. Shot comes to the point. Peterson fires a shot high and wide. Got to put those on the net every chance we get. Tristan Bradley in the corner digging. He finally gets some help. Puck comes out through the neutral zone. Detroit picks it up. They backhand to the far side. Shot high over the net. Detroit's able to hold that puck in. Blocked shot by Parker Ashton. He reverses it. Peterson getting bodied behind the net. Near side Parker Ashton. He chips it up the boards. No winger there. Detroit now to the far side. Stops, spins. Scissor play along the far boards. Parker Ashton working it up. Now they get it to the middle. Detroit. Shot gets deflected near side corner. Masters back there with Parker Ashton battling to try to get control back. And Rochester flips it up and down. Goaltender plays it. Quick pass up the boards. And Detroit backhands it back into the Rochester zone. Sage is back there. He picks the puck up, skating it out now. Gets across the red, dumps it down. Rochester trying to keep some offensive zone time here early in the first. Detroit chips it to the near side. Sage pinches. Schletty's able to keep it in momentarily, but we have an offsides. Face off outside the Detroit zone. Oh, the old faker Rooney. Rochester wins that. Sage jumps up. He dumps it into the zone and changes. Detroit rings it around hard, coming down. Hagen is there. Hagen gets manhandled. Kayla Wiedrich taking a bump. Detroit player falling on the blue line. We can't get possession, so Detroit regrouping in their own zone. Detroit now to the far side, coming across the red. Hangy gets it. He chips to the near side. Kayla Wiedrich comes to the corner. Now to the far side, Hangy's there. Hangy skating up into the zone. Gets across, gets a shot off, but that's blocked. Detroit coming up now. Near side corner, bodies flying everywhere. Rochester throws it down. No icing as they're calling it was tipped, so Detroit goes back for it. Lusk on the chase. Rochester fires a shot, that's blocked. Detroit gets it out. Lusk trying to get it deep, he whiffs on that dump attempt. Rochester chipping it to center. Bradley on the chase. Chasing around the net. Nice little reverse play by Detroit. Cross ice pass. Bradley picking up that loose puck in the high slot. He chips it out, making Detroit regroup. Peterson now back in Rochester zone, going D to D with Ashton. Rochester chips it up. Sage stepping up. Smoking Joe on the chase, no icing. Centers it. Schletty back to the point. D were changing. Hagen was late to get to the blue. Sage to Hagen. Back to Sage. Up to Schletty. He makes a move, loses it. Detroit gets down, dumps it down to the far side. 5 minutes left here in the first period. Shots are 2-1 in favor of Rochester. Detroit on the far boards. Hagen in the far corner. Sage, you got to help him. There you go. Now behind the net. Almost taken away. I think that's McGill. Detroit walking the blue line now to the far side. That tips off his stick in the corner. Detroit trying to handle that puck at the blue line, walking in. Ripping a shot that Elliott saves. There's behind the net. And Rochester chips it up and down. Should be an icing. 4:21 left here in the first period. Shots are, it's like 3-1 in favor of Detroit. 3-1 in favor of Detroit, Rochester being the home team. Face off to the left of Sikic. Young steers that to the boards. Now Detroit across the blue line. Shot, save, Sikic. Steers that to the near side corner. Rochester's able to get that, chip that puck out. Now coming down Kohler Peterson near side. He throws a puck on net. Him and Max Wiesner switching spots. That puck squirts out to the high slot. Detroit brings it down now. Detroit to the far side. Oh, that's off a skate. That's off a skate. Instant replay. So Detroit up to a 1-0 lead here off a little tic-tac-toe, a 3-on-2 play. Odd man rush. Detroit dumping that down, now behind the net. Loose puck. Masters picks it up, comes down out of the zone, out crossing the red, gaining the blue. Shot fired wide. Now behind the net, Bradley chasing. Detroit chips that around. Working it up the boards. Parker Ashton whiffs on that pass to get it down deep. And Detroit gets around Peterson. And we'll have a penalty here. Interference, I'm gathering. They're not going to call a penalty shot. Call the tripping. So face-off will be to the right of Sickick. Detroit walking in. Move that puck to the side, and Elliott just didn't have the push to recover. Easy goal, puts it up high over the glove. Merely about 3 seconds into the power play. Rochester wins the ensuing faceoff at center ice. Hangy back for it. He goes D to Caleb Wiedrich. Now back to Hangy. Hangy up the far boards. Joe can't get a stick on it. No ice. Caleb Wiedrich picks it up. That bounces off Schletty's stick. Centering pass, walks to the middle. Shot, rebound. Rochester digging, trying to find it, getting shots. Now at the high slot, they're up at the point. Hangy fires that in on net. Detroit moving it out quickly. They bounce that off the boards. Peterson back for it. He backhands it over to Hangy. Back to Peterson. Peterson muffins a shot here to the near side boards. Now Detroit working it back, regrouping in their own zone. Taken away by Ashton. Now we dump it down. Kohler Peterson chasing it down. Out of the near side boards. Ashton stepping up, turn over to Peterson. Peterson spins, fires it up off the glass. Rochester chips it to the middle. We got no center coming through the zone. Detroit regrouping now. Coming through the middle, block shot by Peterson. Far corner, Ashton. He chips it up the boards. It's basically a pass to the defenseman. Peterson, near side corner, he rings it around. Detroit takes that off the boards. Detroit drop pass, walking through the middle. Bradley picks that puck up. He chips to the far side. Masters with a burst of speed. Coming down. Gets a shot on the net. Detroit moves it back out quickly. Masters on the back check. Hagen just slamming it up into the boards. Puck gets thrown down. Sage is there. Nice long exit pass for Sage. Sage coming down. Shot. Goaltender steers behind the net. Detroit works that puck down. No icing. Sage racing for it. He rings around the far side, and that's the end of your first period. Shots are 7-6 in favor of your Mustangs. 2-0 deficit here. Teams will collect themselves, get a little coaching, and we'll start the second period here momentarily. Oh, the stick banging. Stop. It's obnoxious. All right, start of the second period here. Teams will switch ends. Mustangs in a little bit of a hole, but we got lots of hockey left. Detroit wins that draw. They go up the far side boards. They dump that back behind Wiedrich. Hangy goes behind the net. He chips it to the far side to Wiedrich. Oh my God. Talked to Caleb about this last night. It makes a completely blind effing pass through the middle. I have a few choice words for my son here after the game. Rochester finally working out of the zone. Rochester changing as Detroit comes out of the zone. They gain the red, dump it down. Caleb Wiedrich back to retrieve it behind the net. He chips it up hard. Lost. That'll be offsides. Face-off will be here at center ice. Rochester wins that to the far side. Peterson steps up, rings that all the way down behind the goaltender. Detroit coming back quickly, crossing the blue, chipping it behind Parker Ashton. And the puck skips out of play, so we have another whistle with 13:42. Face off in the Rochester zone to the right of Elliott. Detroit wins that. They drop it back. Now to the middle. Can't get a shot off. Still fighting for it. Detroit working it to the middle. Now behind the net, Peterson to the near side. He drops it, and that hits the netting and goes out of play. Detroit wins that draw. Igor Larionov drops it behind the net. Up to Fedorov. Fedorov fires a shot. Schletty gets hammered against the boards, and that hit a glove. I'm not sure what must have gone out of the zone. So we have another whistle with 13:02 left here in a second. Face off outside the Rochester zone. Hagen skating it up. He dumps it in the far corner. Schletty there. Oh, he gets absolutely blasted against the boards. Battle on the far side. Schletty picks it up. He fires a shot that's blocked by the defenseman. Hagen can't keep that in, so now Rochester has to regroup. Now to the far side boards. McGill gets just decleated. I think we'll have an interference here as McGill didn't touch the puck. Vladimir Konstantinov going to the box. So Rochester will go on the power play here at 12:31. Rochester wins that draw. Kohler Peterson back to Hunter Peterson. That shot doesn't hit the net. Now working it back to the point. Sliding it over for Max. Max here on the side, up to Peterson. Peterson over to Parker. Parker's shots get blocked. Parker's shot gets blocked. Back door. Trying to hit Kohler. Max down low for Kohler. Parker Ashton can't hold it in as he falls down. Now coming down one-on-one on Peterson. Detroit spins. Moves that puck to the near side. That squirts out. Now Detroit's just playing a game of keep away here. 42 seconds left in the power play. Rochester moving it up quickly to Max Wiesner coming down this near side boards. He drop passes. Working it up to the point to Parker Ashton. Now to the far side to Caleb Wiedrich. Caleb Wiedrich fires a shot that hits the side of the net. Bradley, far side. Kohler Peterson there. Lusk joining the fray. 9 seconds left. Walking out, over to Hangy. Back to Wiedrich. His shot goes off a stick and up into the netting. Power play's over. I think we had one shot on that power play. One shot on net. 10:59 left here in the second period. Shots are 8-7 in favor of Rochester. Bradley in the far corner. Lost. Getting it back to Caleb Weidrich. Shot. That's blocked by a Detroit player. Hangy firing it in. A little bit of patience there. Regroup. That faceoff will now go all the way down. Saved by Elliott, high stick. Elliott making the blocker save. Detroit picking it out of the air. Easy no call, or easy call here as the referee was clear line of sight in the corner. So that face-off will come all the way down to the Detroit zone. Detroit wins that draw. They go up and off the boards. Sage racing for it. Nice play by Sage as he's able to get a stick on that and knock it off the Detroit player. Detroit regroups, dumps it down to the near side corner. Hagen is there. All behind the net. Detroit walking out. Detroit behind the net now. Hagen chipping it up the boards. Detroit regroups as they should. Now to the near side. Rochester players falling down. Now to the far side. Yo, slap Maroney. Misses the net. Rings it around to the near side. Rochester throws it down for an icing. Rochester trying to play it up and off the glass. Parker Ashton a little bit too high and goes up here into the stands. Face off to the right of Sikic. Rochester wins that draw. Griff Young coming out now. He chips it up to himself. Detroit takes that away. Come across the blue now. They center it, but it's taken away. Masters with a burst of speed coming down the left side. It's a shot, pad save. Griff Young in the corner, he chips that back to the point. Peterson is there. Soft saucer to the front that Detroit kicks with a stick or a blade and comes back quickly. Centering pass. Steered to the corner by Parker Ashton. Detroit now takes it up. They throw into the middle. Taken away. Shot. Goal. A little bit of a screen on Elliott there. A little bit of misdirection as that bounced off a skate or a leg and jumped over Elliott's pad and under his glove. 3-0 Detroit. Detroit wins that draw. They get across the red, throw it on net. Puck squirts out. Detroit regrouping. They go up and off the boards. Caleb Weidrich behind the net now. He reverses. That goes off a net. Big save by Elliott. That was out, but the refs aren't in position, so no call. Detroit wins that draw, brings it to the near side. Shot, tip. Elliott's able to get a piece of that and steer that into behind the net. Detroit now scissoring and cycling. They come to the middle, now to the far side. Sag in a battle there as he falls. Goes to the corner to pick that puck up, rams it up the boards. Detroit picking that puck up, walking in the middle now. Shot, rebound, save.
Oh, Jim, come on!
Detroit coming to the middle, unprotected player there. Couldn't get a handle on the stick. Shot, save, Elliott. Rochester up and off the boards, not hard enough, can't get it out. Fedorov picks it up. Now down behind the net, Sag is there. Masters tries to chip it. Detroit cycling here down low. Rochester can't get a change on the blue. Fires a shot, tip, rebound, save, goal. Rochester able to tip that down. Wiesner on the chase. Detroit to the far side, now to the near side. That's off a stick. Parker Ashton can't chip that up, so Detroit dumps it in. Peterson's there. Our tiny guys against their big guys. It's like blades of steel. Parker Ashton chipping it up the boards. Trying to get it to the middle, can't. Detroit dumps it back down. Detroit now behind the net. Now to the middle. Rochester chips it out. Detroit changes. Detroit moving it up. Hangy picks it up. He goes near side to Masters. Masters to the far side. That's off a skate. Griff Young can't handle that. Lusk on the forecheck. Masters now going to the corner. Lusk on a break now, trying to race to get to that puck. He gets double teamed here in the near side corner. Caleb Weidrich gets a shot on net after a drop pass from Bradley. Masters fires a shot on the net that Bradley tips, goes behind the net. Bradley gets absolutely dumped by Larionov. Hanging at the point, he gets it back down low. Up to Joe Getchell. Puck comes up to Hangy. Slides it over to Weidrich. Weidrich with a shot that goes just wide. He had a forward coming out to challenge the shot. Now Detroit coming back. 2-on-2. Caleb Weidrich able to ride his man out. Rochester able to chip it down. And a check from behind, dumb penalty. A little frustration setting in here, obviously, with Rochester down 4-0. 3:57 left in the second. Detroit on the power play now. Schletty's able to poke that out. Coming down 1-on-3. Gets a shot to the far side. He gets thrown into the boards. Detroit patiently moving that puck up to the near side. They chip it in. Not over the Blues, so now they've got to regroup. Detroit rings around to the far side. Saj gets absolutely blown up on the far boards by Konstantinov. Masters able to throw that down, no icing. He races to get to the puck first. Centering pass. Had Lust streaking, couldn't hit him on the forehand. Detroit picks it up, now they cycle. Back to 5-on-5 play. Shot. That's off a Rochester player. Rochester picks it up. Parker Ashton skating down now. He gets around the D, trying to center it. Bradley couldn't get his stick down. Puck chip to the near side. Parker Ashton fires a shot that goes behind the net. Detroit ringing around to the far side. Samsonov picks it up. He gets it across the red, dumps it down with 1:48 left. Caleb Weidrich back there. He reverses it to Parker Ashton on their side. Parker whiffs on that exit pass. Caleb Weidrich up off the boards. Wiesner chasing it down. Detroit coming out now. 3-on-3 as they come to the far side. They shoot a shot that goes behind the net. Rochester able to pick that up to the near side. Wiesner, he just chips it out. Goes all the way down, and we have an icing with 1:01 left. I agree, Dwayne. Lots of big bodies out here, at least relative to us. I think we've seen the Windy City team was about this size as well. Joe Getchell bouncing that off of his stick and out of the zone with 50 seconds left. Rochester able to keep that puck in. Joe trying to get a shot off. Detroit gets a stick on it, comes back out of the zone. Now crossing the blue. Puck goes to the far side, floats in on net. Sag slamming that to the far side boards and out of the zone with 30 seconds. Rochester just trying to slap it out here at this point. 20 seconds left. Detroit gets it back in. Hagen muffin shots it outside the zone. 11 seconds. Nine seconds left on the clock. Shots are 15-10 in favor of Belle Tire. Shot from Detroit's blocked. They throw a pass in front of the net. Elliott steers that into the near side corner. That's the end of your second period. Score is 4-0. Shots are 15-10 in favor of Belle Tire. Belle Tire just bigger, faster team, and now that we're down 4-0, a little bit of the air has come out of the tires, and boys need. We certainly still have plenty of time. We were getting shots on net. We just need to increase the quality of those chances and be a little scrappier here. Big goaltender in Detroit between the pipes. So we'll see what the boys can come out here with the third period muster. We'll be back. All right, Mustang Nation, we are back here for the start of the third period. Rochester having a little bit of a hole to dig out with a 4-0 deficit. Shots are 15-10. I know many of you Mustang followers always excited to see our top team in Rochester and how they're doing. And let's not hit the panic button. I've been at this for 3 years now with my boys, and the first year we came down here, we did not score a goal, went 0-3, and that team ended up advancing to regions in Minnesota. So this is early in the season. These games don't really mean nothing, although we'd like to see a better outing and showing here. Lots of season left, and certainly lots of opportunity for learning, and we'll continue to use this as an opportunity, no matter what the outcome is, to make this an awesome season. Face off here at center ice. Detroit wins that draw. Rochester's able to poke it off a stick. Detroit reversing it to the near side. They go up the boards. Now moving out quickly. Sage is there. He chips it out into the neutral zone. Detroit comes across again, gets around him, fires a shot. Goal. So Detroit scores 22 seconds into the period. (5-0) lead. Rochester just trying to get anything positive here. Rochester works it back down to the near side. Schletty chips that in. Lusk in the far corner. Lusk out there with Masters and Schletty. Puck comes in the middle. Schletty with it in the high slot. He backhands it down behind the Detroit net. Detroit to the near side, now to the far side. Joe Getchell. Joe Getchell running over somebody here. Surprised he didn't go back and apologize. Interference is the call. Kind of out of our camera view before we got into the neutral zone. So Rochester will go on the PK here. 14:01 left in the third. Rochester's able to chip that out. Schletty chasing it down now. Detroit spins. They move that up the boards. Rochester's able to chip it to the neutral zone. Detroit now getting it and coming across the blue. Caleb Wiedrich's there. Now to the far side. Detroit setting up in their, looks like a 1-3-1. Now to the near side. Shot. That bounces off Caleb Wiedrich. He chips it up. Detroit gloves that at the blue. Detroit or Caleb Wiedrich are on the red net now. And he loses it at the blue line and turns it over. Shot high and wide. Caleb up off the glass. That's off a glove. Now that's a nice play, and it goes all the way down. Tip, so there's no icing. Rochester's able to get it out. Detroit coming up now. Gets around the D. Samsonov coming in, fires a shot wide. Larionov can't hold it in. So we have an offsides. I didn't think it was run time after 5 goals. I thought it was 6, but nonetheless, looks like we're at run time. confirm that at the next whistle. Back to 5-on-5 play here. Detroit dumps it in. Joe Getchell back for it. Centering pass goes through everybody. No icing. Detroit back behind their net. They use that net as a 6-man. Rochester stepping up. Now we try to regroup. Peterson over to Ashton. He dumps it down hard. Detroit throws it out now in the neutral zone. Wiesner dancing. He goes to the corner. Oh, an elbow right to the head. He got him. He got him. Oofta. Roughing is the call. Looks like Max is okay. Face off here. Detroit wins that. They go up and off the glass. Parker Ashton able to hold that in. He steps up, fires a shot. Puck flies out of play. And it is run time, so. Puck squirts out to the top. Caleb Wiedrich on the far side. He fires a shot. Rebound. Rochester can't get to it. Digging forward in the slot. Bradley gets knocked down on his breezers. And the Detroit goaltender hops on in front of the whistle. Face off to the left of Detroit's goaltender. Guy looks like he plays major juniors there. He's got a beer in that water container in the back of the net. Rochester working it out to the point. Too far for Hangy. He can't keep it in. He circles back to the neutral zone. Drops it to Wiedrich. Wiedrich coming through. He gets a poke check. Out of the near side, hanging up the boards. Bradley tips that into the zone as Rochester gets off for a change. Puck goes up and over the glass for a whistle. Face off, won by Detroit. They go to the middle. Shot goes wide. Kohler Peterson, Max Wiesner. Wiesner passes it out to the defenseman. Shot trickles in on Elliott. Detroit wins that draw. They center it. Sage is there to take that away. Comes in the near side corner. Battle in the near side boards. Puck comes out to Larionov. He gets knocked on his butt. Sage working it around to the far side. Hagen chipping it around further. Wiesner trying to get there. Rochester's able to chip it out of the zone as they change. Detroit goes back for it. Larionov quickly moving it up to Fedorov. He drops it to Samsonov. coming through the middle. They get a shot off that's steered into the corner. Puck shot on net. Elliott steers that in the corner. Parker is there. He comes out of the corner with it. Pass to the near side. Griff Young gets taken off the puck. McGill gets bodied. Joe Getchell down there pushing bodies. Battle in the near side corner. Detroit moving it up now. That's off a skate in the near side corner. Parker Ashton is there.
Chicken wings been his move for years. He goes, Dad, did you teach him the tricks?
6 minutes left here in the third period. Hunter Peterson rings around to the near side. No icing. Schletty on the forecheck. Good forecheck by Schletty. That's right now. Caleb Weidrich stepping in. His shot's deflected. Comes up to the point. Hangy. Shot tip. Goes into the far corner. Masters digging for it. He comes around the near side. He gets ridden off. Another elbow there, to my opinion, to the head. Masters digging. Lusk. Igor Larionov down there. Detroit comes out of the pile as Masters goes off. Now to the far side. Hangy is there. He chips it. Gets it to Caleb Weidrich. Now coming up the boards. He tries to cut in. Doesn't have any room.
Oh, elbow. Cross checking.
Loose puck here at the blue line. Caleb fires it in offsides. Automatic offsides. Intentional offsides, so face-offs here at center ice where Caleb hit it. Puck moved up, 4 minutes left here in the third. Detroit getting that puck to the front of the net. Elliott steers that to the side. Shots are 18-13 here, all in favor of Detroit. Right here in the high slot, working to the far side. Shot by Detroit. Elliott hops on top of.
Be smart.
2.5 minutes left here in the game. Griff Young chasing that puck down. Puck comes out. Hunter Peterson chasing it down. stops and reverses. Parker Ashton throwing it out of the zone. Hangy steps in front of that play. Shot that rings around on the near side. Caleb Weidrich with it on the point. He fires a shot that goes wide. Schletty to the near side. Now in the corner, Masters. He gets pinched against the boards. Both Rochester players fall down. Schletty behind the net. He passes that off Masters' skate. Detroit pushing that forward off the draw. Dumping it down low with 20 seconds left. And that's it for the third period. So we'll be back on the air here at 7:50, I believe, is our final game. We'll play the fourth place finisher in Pool A. We'll see who that is here later this afternoon. And Rochester not able to get on the board. 5-0 loss to Detroit. Shots were 20-14 in favor of Detroit. So we'll pick up the broadcast here later tonight. Thanks for watching.